My eyes were made to see you. My ears were made to hear you. My face to turn towards you all of the days of my life. My arms were made to embrace you. My hands were made to serve you. My feet made to follow you all of the days of my life. I was made for you. I was made for you.
Hello. I am so glad that you have chosen to be a part of your community connection tonight. I know you're going to have a great time. In fact, you already have been having a great time, as we have at our group as well. But I just wanted to take a few moments, because what we're doing tonight is very, very biblical. The relationships, the fun, as well as the partnering together in prayer and working for God's kingdom. Scripture calls this fellowship. The Greek word is actually koinonia, which translates meaning to share something in common. What do we have in common? Well, certainly it's the blood of Christ, it's the family of Christ that we call His church, but also it's the mission of Christ. The mission that God has entrusted to Cornerstone to impact the individuals and families of these Northern Philadelphia suburbs with the life and message of His Son, Jesus Christ. Now, as we've joined together tonight for some fellowship and food and some fun, we're also going to get a chance to join together in some prayer this evening. Now, in just a few moments, we're going to get a chance to go around your circle there at the Community Connection, share a few prayer requests that you may have individually or for your family that we want to lift up before the Lord in each of our groups. But then I'm also going to ask you at the end of that time for personal needs, that we would join together for a few areas of need at Cornerstone. These directly have to deal with our mission to impact these Northern Philadelphia suburbs. Now, the first initiative I'm going to ask you to pray for, we are terming the Haggai Project. After the Israelites were taken into captivity for numerous decades into Babylon, God was calling them out of Babylon to go and to rebuild His temple. Now, coming this fall, you're going to be hearing a lot about the Haggai Project. It will begin with our 15-year celebration. The weekend after Labor Day, we're going to have a special celebration. As many of you know, we just celebrated our 15th year this year in 2009 of our establishment as a church. And as we look back over the last 15 years on what God has done, the lives and the families that have been touched and transformed by the presence and power of God, we're going to allow our roots to continue to keep us moving forward in the vision that God has called us to accomplish. And so through the Haggai Project, we will allow that time and that initiative to keep us moving forward, not only in our small groups that God's calling us to build, and the Sunday morning experiences and the prayer and the Bible study and everything else, but it will also help us to raise the needed funds in order to move forward in the vision that God has called us to accomplish. And so the Haggai Project, you're going to be hearing about that. It's both the celebration of the last 15 years, but also using those roots to help us to move forward in the vision, both spiritually speaking as well as financially speaking, in the preparation for the future. The second initiative, you see the banner directly behind me, that challenges us to be the church. Not just go to church, but to be the church. This initiative is called Faith in Action. Now, the Faith in Action initiative will involve both our Sunday morning services, where we'll be inspired. I'm thinking about the first service that will call us to have divine detours in life, that God will allow us to be interrupted, just like the man that was on the Good Samaritan, that was on the road and had a divine interruption in his life to touch somebody else's life. But it'll not only involve our Sunday mornings, but also in our small groups in which we will be challenged that every single person that calls Cornerstone their church home will get connected in meaningful relationships in the deepening of our spiritual walk through our connecting groups. And so I am extremely encouraged about that. But not only in our Sunday morning in our small groups, but we're also going to get an opportunity to go past the four walls of our church and to impact our community. At the end of these 4 weeks of faith in action that conclude in Sunday, we're going to roll up our sleeves, we're going to go outside these church walls, and we're going to impact our community through some service projects. I am extremely excited about what God is going to do through these service projects, as not only do we get out with the message of Christ, but also we're going to touch our community with the life of Christ through these practical expressions of compassion and of love and of reaching out in very practical ways to our community. Again, this is Faith in Action that will be coming up September and into October. On that October 11th is when those service projects are going to begin. And I'm excited to see as we plant the seeds and as we water the seeds, we're going to ask God for His increase.
My eyes were made to see you. My ears were made to hear you. My face to turn towards you.